get around that. I do not understand what is happening at all at any point.
Shrouds come out.
So we're a few months into our sailing journey and we've bought boats and we've gone out for sails, and we just thought we'd share with you some of the things we think we've learned and would have been helpful for us to know right at the beginning.
So 7 things we would do differently if we bought a boat. This isn't what you should do, this is just what would help us if we were to buy another boat. You can always improve things, can't you? It's like looking at what you've learned and how could you improve it.
Have a chat with the club you're thinking of joining before you buy a boat. They're going to know best about what's the best boat for that particular lake or wherever you are that you're going to sail.
And also what would be best for you as a beginner. We have done some training, as we've said in previous episodes, but 2 or 3 years ago, and we didn't get to practice that skill after we learnt it.
So the reason we went for a Wayfarer to begin with was because that was the boat we learnt in. We loved the boat, loved everything about it, and we found one which was the right colour. And we loved the colour of it. But so we thought, okay, well, we learnt in a Wayfarer, surely that's got to be the right boat to continue because we've got that experience. And there was probably quite a few thresholds, wasn't there? Like, we wanted to reduce the amount of differences to when we start sailing on our own to how we actually learn, which I think is fair enough. But there are boats which are very similar to a Wayfarer, which are smaller, and then it seems to me that the better boats for beginners are smaller ones.
And also getting it in and out of the lake, so going up the slipway, it just makes it more enjoyable if it's that little bit more manageable if you want to try and do it on a regular basis.
So to round it out, have a chat with the club you're going to join about what's the best boat for that particular sailing area.
Point number 2. What's point number 2? Check the size of the trailer and trolley with your boat. So we bought the Wayfarer with a combi trailer, which had a launch trolley and a road trailer. However, we've since learned that the boat, or I should say the trailers, are way too small for the boat.
This is not a particularly clear one for me, like how you'd actually know as a complete beginner. I think the only way you're going to find out is to go and again speak to someone who's already got the boat you're thinking about buying, especially if you need a combi trailer. So our plan was always to travel from different lakes. Well, our first plan was to go down to the ocean, but then since we started learning, we decided to stay on fresh water for a bit just to get used to wind awareness and just build up the different skills bit by bit. But if your plan is to travel around with the dinghy, then obviously the road trailer and the launch trolley and the combi trailers are a must. Which is what we bought in the beginning. What we didn't realise until we got it to the lake, because we were novices, is that the launch trolley is very small for the Wayfarer, and it is awkward, it's tough to get the balance on it and all that sort of stuff. Trident is a UK store which does give you what length of boat is suitable for each trolley. We've got what we've got and we can make it work, but it's just there's a bit of faff that you've got to enjoy around getting your boat ready to sail. You've got to enjoy the faff, haven't you?
We had a conversation with a couple the other week and we said, it's all about the faff. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to embrace the faff.
Got to embrace the faff. It would be great, wouldn't it, if we had a bigger launch trolley for the Wayfarer?
It would be really great, and we will, but when you look into the prices of new ones, they're really expensive, and when you look for second-hand ones, they're not that easy to find without coming with a boat.
The cost of not having the right trolley and the right launch trolley is massive, isn't it?
Yeah, massive.
But it's a lot more expensive than the boat is. So segueing into, we've also got a Gull boat, which is like a small Wayfarer. We were never planning on travelling around with the Gull. We were always going to travel around with the Wayfarer. Those plans have since changed because of the ease of use of the Gull for now.
I can do this with one hand. How about that?
Wow, that's so much easier, isn't it?
So that's what we're going to take around for a while, but we love our Wayfarer. We're not getting rid of it. We're keeping it.
Right. Absolutely.
We bought the Gull with just a launch trolley because we weren't planning on travelling around. But now we've got a launch trolley that doesn't fit on our road trailer.
But we have got an idea for that.
It may be that the launch trolley for the Wayfarer is the perfect size for the Gull. But then we've got to put the Wayfarer on the Gull's trolley.
Ooh.
Next week's video is going to be the best video, just watching that, see if we can do that.
So point number 3, that for us is having a tick sheet for parts.
Yeah, so I think here the important point is what parts do you expect to be on the boat? What are you expecting to be there? What have you used before? Because some people will be okay with not having certain bits on the boat, isn't it? So we'd have a parts tick sheet because we're expecting a high field lever to be on the mast. New lever.
Have we got a new one then?
Well, because we bought this boat without one of these on it, which is a significant piece of kit apparently. Can some people get away without having that on there? Maybe. I don't know the answer to that.
Check the sails for several reasons. What are the condition of the sails? Does the mainsail have reefing points? Now we know that good sails are generally quite crispy. They make a crispy sound, don't they? That's the best way I can describe it. The sails we bought on the Wayfarer are sort of like very thin.
Really old pair of pants.
Yeah, they've turned into sort of really saggy pants.
They
thin.
are a comfortable pair of loungers, aren't they?
Without any reefing points. And then another reason is sails are really expensive, so try and get the best sails you can with the deal of the boat. Which moves on to when we bought the Gull, which was a lot cheaper. We actually got really good, almost new sails. So it was kind of it was a massive...
And they've got reefing points.
And they've got reefing points as well, and they're really crispy. So that was a massive win. Because we were looking for that, we were looking for a slightly smaller boat for us just to get used to sailing again. And we were looking for reefing points and good quality. So it made a massive difference to us to know what we were looking for the second time round, didn't it?
Absolutely. And I think if we had a really good sail, we do have a good sail for the Wayfarer, but if we had a good sail with reefing points, we'd have taken that out more.
Yeah.
So not having the reefing points has become much more important than we first realised when we were buying. Wind awareness in the beginning is quite a skill. I think it's quite a skill, and I'm sure it just keeps developing. And imagine someone who's 10 years in, 20 years in is going to have a completely different type of awareness. It's one of those lifelong learning things, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's incredible really.
And I love learning that skill, but the most difficult thing we found has been two things. Lee shores, so where the wind's blowing onto the shore and getting caught in that, and light winds. So light winds have been the biggest problem, full stop, haven't they?
Yeah.
When you're out in light winds, it's really hard to tell where the wind's coming from, especially as a beginner.
Where is the wind coming from, my love?
You can't read anything, and some of the signs you would use aren't even necessarily correct, like what's happening on the surface of the water. You can get fairly confused between these different things you're going to look for. So if you've got a telltale on your shrouds, or as many sort of wind awareness things you can put on your boat as possible, burgees, hawks, telltales, I don't know if there's anything else. I'm not aware of anything other than those three.
No.
Don't rush off when launching. I've got a habit to do things quickly. Maybe some people would say I'm impatient, wouldn't they? Who know me? And so we've rushed a little bit at the beginning. I mean, that was partly because we're trying to film all this stuff as well. And on our first sail, I think we had a litany of errors, wasn't there? It was mad how many errors. We didn't put the centerboard down, we didn't have the kicking strap on, we didn't have our sail, what are they called? Battens. Didn't have our sail battens in the sail properly. So a quick way of saying point 7 is not so much don't rush off when launching, more check your rigging thoroughly before going out for a sail. Yeah, so even when we're checking everything, there is quite a few bits and bobs to think about.
Yeah.
Because you're also thinking about launching.
Yeah.
And what again, wind awareness, what's the angle of launch going to be, all that sort of stuff. So, I think I'm going to create a process there and go, right, let's do the rigging, let's not think about anything else but the rigging, is everything in place? And then do the next thing. Final point we're going to make is read the correct book for your stage of learning. I was trying to read a Wayfarer book, which has got lots of complicated stuff in it, which maybe if you're that way inclined, you'd happily wade through, but I just wanted the answers, which I found pretty difficult to find. So the best one we found for beginners is the RYA Start Sailing book, which is really simple. It's written for children and is a massive help for clothing, for little bits of rigging, for basic technique. The other book's great as you're progressing, but it's not particularly accessible for absolute novice beginners where you need things, well, I needed things spoon-fed.
It'd be really good to hear from you guys what you would add to that. What would be your 7th point?
For people who have been sailing for years, if you could leave like a point in the comments, or even 7 points in the comments, about what you think beginners should do, and actually give some actual advice, then that'd be great, because then people could check below to see if there's any help really at this point, because we've even had messages that people are finding this sort of information fairly difficult to find, especially around rigging, which we've got a plan to do, how to rig the boat from scratch video. We haven't done that yet because, well, confidence.
We don't feel it's our place to put something out there where we don't feel we fully know what to do ourselves. So this is all about our experience and what we're learning. And if it helps people, that's amazing. And hopefully the better we get, the more we can help.
Absolutely. And these are just a few points just to reduce that friction to getting on the water, which we've found. I mean, we definitely went out quite a few weeks later than we otherwise would have done had we have had these things in place from the off.
But let us know. Tell us. And thank you for watching. Please
subscribe, please ring the bell, please like it, please put comments down, share it with your friends. Thanks very much for watching.